Hello everyone, it is Mr. Shark Spambot here, and in today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a custom reverse shell in PHP. But before I do that, I'm going to show you how to make a payload persistent. So there are two ways you could do this. You could either manually put a file into the restart folder, which will execute every time the person restarts their computer, or you could just edit a registry value. Now, editing registry values with WinReg gets detected pretty easily now, so I'm going to show you a different way of making this payload persistent. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put a while loop around this while loop right here. Oh, it'll be over here actually. So while true, and oops, I'm gonna indent all of this. And the first thing that I'm going to do is put this whole thing in a try and except statement. And also indent this again. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to accept and sleep for, let's say, 3 minutes, or maybe even 1 minute. And every 1 minute it'll try to rerun this, because when the person restarts their computer, it may or may not necessarily actually they may not have internet connection right away. And you should also do this for the second payload, and I'll talk about that in a second. So now I'm gonna go here and do accept, and then that'll be time dot sleep 60 and continue. I hope I indented that right. No, I did not. Whoops. Should be here. And this is just the initial file. And now what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to import time, which I have not done yet, and also passlib. And you'll see why in a second. So the first thing that I'm going to do here is make home equal to passlib.path.home. Then make restart equal to the default Windows restart directory. And you can concatenate paths because this is a pathlib object. You can just do it like this. So app data slash roaming slash Microsoft slash Windows slash start. I'm pretty sure I spelled all of that right. Okay, so now what you need to do is, oh, whoops, that'll be start menu slash programs slash startup. And then what you could do is os dot change directory, or chdir restart. And now what you could do is subprocess.call and then curl whatever URL your other payload is, and that payload will be put into the restart directory. Now do not put this code, all of this code, into the code which is being put into the restart directory, because that's already in the restart directory and you don't want it to copy more and more, unless you do want to do that, but I'm guessing that you wouldn't want to just like copy a bunch of versions of the same file. But you should put this same try and accept statement here, because when the person restarts their computer, they may not exactly have Wi-Fi. It may be turned off and they may turn it on later on. So you could just curl whatever it is. And then we'll put this in an output. And then shell should equal to true. One thing about this is that if the person for some reason goes into their restart directory and they find a weird file in there, they're probably going to be it's going to look really suspicious. So maybe have something like the OneDrive icon in your file in the restart menu, or something else which will look really legit. So now moving on to the PHP payload. So I'm going to create a Shadow Shark reverse shell for websites in PHP. I don't know PHP, so this is going to be a bit weird, I guess. So the first thing you do is, okay, I already screwed up. Look at this, PHP. Whoops, my IDE is being a little too helpful, I'd say. And then now I just need to do full-fledged, say, by the way, this is used in PHP for a multi-line comment. Now I'm pretty sure this is not how a comment in PHP is supposed to look like the doc string itself, but this is what I'm used to, so I'm just gonna go with it. And I'm gonna close this, so that'll be like that. So by default in PHP, errors are not shown, and of course this is not going to be very helpful. So the first thing that I'm going to do is make the errors actually shown. And then also so there are a lot of different things in PHP which I would need to set. And then that'll be E. Oh, and I forgot, you need to put a semicolon after every line. So I'm going to make a function called base64 handler. So Shadow Shark does actually also support base64, and since this is a PHP reverse shell, I'm going to use base64 because it's built into PHP. So it'll take some arguments, text, and then I'll have encode equal to false and decode equal to false as well. And now what I need to do is I just do if encode equal to true, then I'll need to do this shenanigan again. Then what I could do is new text is equal to base64 encode the text. And also I do need to use JSON as well. Okay, so now what I could do is I could have another if function, and this time it's for the decode. So if I'm hoping I'm doing this correctly. $sign decode is equal to true, then new text is equal to base 64 and decode this time. That'll be $sign. Oh, whoops, first I need to actually use JSON because I'm reversing this. So this was done first, that was done last, and I'm gonna do this from the bottom up to reverse it. So that'll be JSON decode. And then there we go. So now what I can do at this point is just return the new text. And I keep on forgetting to do this, but I do need to have this, all of that, and yeah, I should be good now. So now that I have completed this part of the function, the next thing to do is create the socket itself. So rev socket is equal to socket create af init, and then sock. And these are obviously, you know, like these are you always need to provide these for TCP. And then now I'm gonna connect is equal to socket connect rev socket, and that'll be IP, whatever IP you want to set. I'll just put there, and then the port I'll set 8080, and that's good. So now what I'm going to do is while true. So first of all, the command is equal to just the empty string bracket, and then while $sign data is equal to socket read, and then that'll be the rev socket. Oops. And then that'll be 1024. So that's 1 kilobyte of data. And I'm just gonna do $sign command dot equal to. So you can't concatenate strings in PHP with the plus sign. You need to use dot, and instead of command $sign command is equal to $sign command plus data, you could just use dot equal to, the same way you could use plus equal to in Python. And then I'm going to do $sign data. So if command -1 equal to this character, Then what I can now do is just break out of this for loop. And I can come back here and then $sign command is equal to base64 handler, and then that'll be $sign command encode is equal to false, decode is equal to true. Okay, so now what I could do is if command is equal to exit, I'll just break out. Oh well, first I need to close the connection, so socket close, and then that'll be reverse socket. Okay, so if $sign command, oh, whoops, this needs to be in here. $sign command is equal to exit, then what I need to do is I'll go here and I'll just do $sign CWD, which stands for current working directory, is equal to CWD, and I'll also do socket write, which you could use to send data. That'll be $sign rep socket, and that'll be I need a base64 handler this, so that'll be CWD and encode is equal to true. So now what I'm gonna do is $sign output. Oh, and one thing I forgot is that I don't really need to do any of these commands anymore after this, so I'll just continue. Okay, so $sign output, that'll be equal to shell execute $sign command. But here's the thing, so this only will give you back the any output if there are no errors. If there are any errors, it will not give you anything back. So what you need to do is you need to concatenate this to the end. Now if there is any output in the first place, then we'll send this data using socket write. And I'll just do $sign and encode is equal to true, and then continue. Now to change the directories you need to make a different whole branch for that. So if, and here's when string concatenation comes into play. This is how you do string concatenation in PHP. So this will return basically the first two characters of command, and if that is equal to CD, then what I am going to do is change the directory to everything from 3 to the end. And this is how you would do that. And now what I need to do is, see, the thing is that with the Shadow Shark reverse shell, you need to send some kind of data back. And if there was no output, or just the directory was being changed, it'll send nothing back, which will make the shell freeze. And then you're basically going to lose your shell. So what I'm going to send back is just a space character. Now when I did program Shadow Shark, I did make sure that if there's just like a new line character, like a tab space or anything like that, it'll just like not print anything out. So then I can implement this feature in. And that'll be the end PHP code. So this is really it. That is how you would create your own custom PHP reverse shell. So I'm just going to check if I may have messed anything up here. Make sure I have this semicolon at the end. And this looks all fine. So that'll be it for today's video. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel.